How good can the Lakers be this season?
Well, first let me say this, and we saw this earlier. Lonzo is special. And I think every once in a while, a player comes along or players that change the focus of the game. Mm-hmm. It was Magic and Bird put the focus on passing. Michael Jordan was just individually dominant, statistically and winning. Yeah, athleticism became kind of the thing people focused on. LeBron James, kind of a do-it-all, positionless player. Now you see Paul George playing like that. Mm-hmm. Kawhi in the playoffs. Well, you know, but at a lower level.
Poor man.
Kawhi in the playoffs, they had him handling the ball a lot. You know, so Gordon Hayward even plays a little bit like that. And, of course, Steph with the three-pointer. I think Lonzo is going to bring the focus back on, eventually, on passing point guards. Because we got all these score first, shoot first point guards.
2 guards masquerading.
Yeah, and they're not winning at the highest level. They're going to put up big numbers, but they're not necessarily going to lead your team to a championship. And I think eventually Lonzo will kind of bring back the pass first point guard and make passing cool again, if you will. That said, I don't think they make the playoffs next year. I definitely don't think they're making the playoffs. And I think it's Golden State, San Antonio, OKC, Houston, Minnesota, Portland, Memphis, and the Clippers. That's 8. And then I think Utah and Denver may be better than them. I think the Lakers will be around fighting with those. I think they'll be better than the Pelicans.
Wow.
I mean, I want to see Alvin Gentry play slow down big man basketball with his 2 7-footers. But I think they'll be 10th, 11th range, win 35 games.
This is the deepest Western Conference in the history of the NBA.
Do you think?
Oh, in all my years, I don't.
Well, remember there was a year where
50 wins.
You had to win 50, right? 50 got 8th.
But Rondo makes the Pelicans dangerous.
Rondo does. I agree. I like that signing for them. Yeah. So let me put the Pelicans in the hunt. But I think the Lakers, it's too deep. I don't see any way. They don't have shooting. I think Lonzo will be around 14, 15 points and maybe 10 or 11 assists for real.
Yeah.
I think Brandon Ingram will have a big jump to maybe 18, 20 points. But they don't have any three-point shooting.
No.
So I cannot see them. I know you got them in the playoffs. Like you said, this is a deep conference.
It is.
You must love the kid. LeBron didn't make the playoffs his first year.
I know he did not. What we saw last night, I know it's just Summer League, but Summer League has become a thing now. It's everybody's focusing on it. And there is enough talent out there that you can see just how special this kid already is. First half, tour de force, 14 points and 10 rebounds. And I kept telling Shannon. What's that?
10 assists.
10 assists. I'm sorry, 10 assists. But I kept telling Shannon, he can shoot it from 3 because he made 41% at UCLA. So he comes out last night and says, okay, watch this. Boom, boom. He hits his first 2. Then he made another one that was just inside the 3. And then they start to press up on him, and they have to foul him, and he goes to the line and shoots 3. He can make 3-point shots. If you, as we talked before, if you're going to go under on those high pick and rolls, he'll just sit out there, and trust me, he can make 40% of his threes, and that will work 40%? In this league. Well, he made 41 from UCLA.
But that's a a shorter 3.
Every time I watched him, he was shooting 3 and 4 feet behind the college 3-point line. So in this case, the other thing that is being underrated so far is, as his body matures, and I've seen it mature a whole lot from last year to what I'm seeing right now, as he grows up and gets his, as LeVar says, his ball body, because their family line, like LeVar's got some stature to him, right?
Oh, yeah.
And if the kid gets some of his father's stature as he matures physically, I think he can average 10 rebounds a game, too, because he has a nose for the ball coming off the board that is just as special to me as his passing gift. But you're right, he's going to bring back the passing gift because like I've told you before, I argued with you all year, LeBron, still the best passer in basketball. Now Lonzo is about to be the best passer in the NBA. And it ignites everybody. They're playing with such joy and passion because they all know, like Kyle Kuzma knows, I'm going to get it wherever I need it to score 20 points. Wow, Kyle Kuzma, really? Yeah. And Brandon Ingram hadn't even been able to play. And we got to see one flash of one game there. So all of a sudden, he's lifted this team into the finals. I wish he could play tonight. I don't know. I think Magic would just say, why would we risk this? But it would be it'd be really good for this franchise, this down in the dumps, off radar, sort of dead in the water Laker franchise to win the summer league. It would be a nice jump start into next year. But I look at the lineup, and Brook Lopez is pretty good.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. And
I
he'll
can see
be a
him
whole lot
20
better.
and 8. He's
And we just talked about Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, KCP they got who can defend.
He's a great defender. Yep.
So he can maybe defend some of the point guards who are just a little too low and quick for Lonzo at going on 6'7". It's just not his best position to defend. He can defend it from behind, sort of. He can catch it from behind and knock it away.
Right.
But
and getting the passing lanes, he gets steals.
But coming off, Jordan Clarkson can light it. Some nights he's just like crazy hot.
He's a microwave. He gets hot quick.
And so can Deng and Larry Nance Jr. And then this Vander Blue, who was the MVP of the D-League last year, is pretty good. And Kuzma's been a revelation. Again, these are bench players, role players, but they're pretty good. So I think Lonzo's going to be so transcendent, if I can use that word. He's going to be so special, instantly gives them the credibility and the belief. I think they're going to wind up in the 8th spot. Now, they're going to have to beat all those teams you just talked about. They're going to have to beat them regularly.
It's so deep.
Yeah.
The thing is, Skip, though, with Dang, I'm like, dang, he's still in the league? Yeah, dang, because he ain't done a dang thing in a long time. Skip, I just don't see what you see as far as them making the team. Now, I do. He's starting to grow on me as far as being maybe a very special talent. He reminds you of a very good quarterback. And I'm not trying to compare him to Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, but when we played with John, unless he tagged the route, it was first come, first serve.
Yep.
I had to beat Ed and Rod to get open because I knew if they beat me open, they were getting the ball.
Yep.
They know Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Lopez, all these guys are going to be filling the lane because they know first come, first serve. If Julius Randle beats me down the court, Ingram, Lonzo's going to give him the ball and give him the ball where he can do something with it. It's not about this and one dribbling the ball because they had a point guard last year, wanted to see how fancy his handles was. And as Magic said, I want a leader. This young man is a leader.
He is.
And people follow him. People gravitate towards him. He can be special. But, Skip, I just don't see – to me, just looking at this, they're not better than Minnesota now, not with Jimmy Butler and what they got. No, they're not better than Denver. They're not better than Portland. And maybe Memphis takes a step back. Maybe the Jazz and the Clippers. But
those teams are still pretty good,
But the Nuggets didn't make the playoffs last year. I think the Nuggets are going to be pretty good with Paul Millsap. I'm not saying they're going to be 55. Yeah.
Millsap.
And the Pelicans, but Minnesota is my team. I don't believe it, Skip. I do not believe with Jimmy Butler, the Lakers will win more games than Minnesota with Jimmy Butler, Karl Anthony Towns, and Wiggins. No.
Does Minnesota have a Lonzo Ball? They do not.
They got a Jeff Teague is okay.
I was saying all leading up to the draft, if I was Minnesota, I would offer Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, and what they had, the 7th pick or whatever it was, to get up.
Get that.
Yeah. I mean, I know Tibbs wanted veterans, and we all like Jimmy Butler, but Lonzo Ball with Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, come on.
Well, I can flip that script and say, can you imagine if the Celtics had just stayed put and taken Lonzo and then gone ahead and traded for Jimmy Butler?
Are they going to trade Isaiah Thomas?
Nope.
You could have, because I don't think they're going to want to max him out next summer.
No, you can't.
You could have put Isaiah with something else and moved up maybe. Well, they had the #1 pick. They didn't have to.
But Lonzo could play with Isaiah, but the ball would have to be in Lonzo's hands, and Isaiah just have to be your designated shooter, scorer.
And you can't maximize what he is with him not having the ball in his hand.